going to show you how to make an eco-friendly festive crown. No longer will you have any of those paper crowns going into landfill. You'll simply need a small amount of fabric, some ribbon or tape, and some Vlieseline F220. So to make the eco-friendly festive crown, what you need are 2 pieces of fabric, which are 3.5 inches wide by 15 inches, one for the outer and one for the lining. And you also need some tape or some ribbon. Of course, you can scale up the size of the crown according to who you want to wear it. To get the template, just pop on to the Vlieseline Facebook page and have a look in the album. Place the F220 on the outer fabric with the fusible side on the wrong side of the fabric and simply press using a medium heat on your iron, which is 2 dots. Once you've fused it on, leave it for about 20 to 30 minutes to allow the glue to adhere to the reverse of the fabric. Once you've cut your 2 crown pieces out, your outer and your lining, you're going to pin your tape in the centre of the outer piece and do the same on the other side. This fabric is really easy because it has lines on, so I can make sure it's in the right place, but there is also marks on the template. Pin these on, and to stop the tape or the ribbon being incorporated into your sewing as we're sewing around the crown, either get a safety pin or a quilt clip and just pop them together. You're then going to place the lining fabric on top of the crown, matching the sides, remove the pin where the tape or the ribbon is, and pop it in place. Do the same for the other side. Now at this point, just take your time and pop some pins in at each of the points to keep the fabrics together. You need to leave a gap for turning on the bottom edge of the crown, and I often identify that by putting a double pin. So we're going to start sewing here. I'm using a 1/4 inch seam allowance and the stitch length is a 2. So we're going to start sewing along the bottom edge, and it makes a much neater job when you turn through if you actually stitch right off the edge. So we're sewing up this short side. Take it out the machine, and then we're going to start and sew around this point. So as we approach the point, just pivot the machine around, and if you sew directly off, then you can pop it the other direction and start and sew that point. And the reason for doing this is when you're turning through, these are quite small points and we just want to make life as easy as possible. I'm just going to sew around this edge and I'll show you an outie and an innie really. I'll show you this one. Just put this down and I'll show you why I've done that. So once you've sewn all the way around the crown, you've got this V shaped here where the V shape has come in. You can simply just take your scissors and just make a little snip up to the seam, and I just tend to do 3. And with this one here, which is the pointy part of the crown, you can actually take away the bulk by just cutting a small square out. I really want to show you all the different stages to make this crown, and the next stage that I feel I need to show you is the top stitching. So what you'll do is increase your stitch length slightly, and you're going to sew very close to the edge. Now the straight parts are very easy and you'll be quite comfortable with that. Stitch right the way up to the corner and then either raise the presser foot, or you may have a pivot button on your machine and the presser foot will levitate. Stitch up to the next bit, which is this side part. And this, just take your time when you're doing this. Turn. Now, depending on which machine you have, because we're going to a very, very small point, you may have difficulty helping the machine to turn. So you could use either a pokey tool if you have one, or even the edge of your seam ripper, or a nice sharp pair of scissors. And just hold your fabric in position so as it's being fed underneath the machine. Raise the presser foot, leave the needle in the down position and turn. Now, can you see if it doesn't want to move, just use your... That's it. Just get the feed dogs going. So just by using a seam ripper, keep your fingers out the way, you'll get through. So that's just a little tip for top stitching. As you can see, Vlieseline has a wide range of products, each with different properties and benefits for your projects. You can view the whole range on the Vlieseline website, where you can download the brochure, which has detailed information on all of the products across our 4 categories. You can also join the conversation with us on our Facebook page, Creative Community Group and Instagram. All of the details are below.